Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Shortbox Podcast.
The Shortbox Podcast is recorded live from Jacksonville, Florida.
Technical disaster has been, resolved. So
addressed. We have addressed it. We have fixed it.
Yeah.
Andrew was of no help.
Here's what I'll take that as, though. That was a universal sign of saying, get to the fucking show. So, our warm-up is now complete. Drew, you ready to get this thing started?
Yes, sir.
You want to cheers real quick, bro?
Yo.
Today's episode was brought to you by Tecate. Oh, I like that. We're using glass this time, too.
You can't get there with two cans. You can't get that clean sound.
You know what's funny is Warren hit me up, and he was like, podcast sounds good. Wish you would have left some of the, like, it would have been cool if you had left some, like, the gnat sounds of the glass and all that. And I was like, I would have, but we were using plastic cups.
Oh, no.
So instead of hearing, like, a good, like, sound of, like, clink, tink, all you heard was, sounded boring.
Dang.
Anyways, all right, so we got our toast out the way.
So we're already starting off great.
Oh, yeah. All right, let me go and get this thing going, Drew. Let me get this thing going. Yo, Shortbox Nation. Welcome back to the podcast. This is a special bonus episode. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show. Glad to have you on, and thanks for pressing play. My name is Botter Milligan, and I'll be your host today. Look, I know I mentioned in our last episode that we'd be taking this week off to record some new stuff for our Patreon page, which we did. If you're a Patreon subscriber, check out the bonus episode we did on the X-Men animated series. That's a Patreon exclusive just for you all. But for everyone else, I decided we couldn't celebrate hitting a milestone like 350 episodes of the podcast in good faith and not invite someone who was there since day one. So if you're not familiar with the other voice...
And Walt canceled last minute. And Botter was like, who doesn't have a job right now?
I'm like, who could possibly be called on this last hour to provide some bonus content for our listeners so they're not waiting on an episode an extra week?
And then Adam was at board game night.
Chris is in DC. And I start going down the list.
Go. Everything. Like, Jonathan had to work.
I even think about, like, guests. I'm like, oh, well, nah, he's dead now.
You're like, hey, Parrish, listen, we need you on the show.
It's like, look, I know you're not a co-host per se, but I think you'd be great on this. But look, if you're not familiar with the voice you just heard, allow me to introduce my co-host this episode. He's been my right-hand man and best friend for years now. Shortbox Nation, I've got your favorite inconsistent co-host in the studio with me today. Let's give it up for Andrew Torres.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
There is a strong handful of people right now listening, of loyal Shortbox listeners that are excited to have you on the show, to hear your voice again, man. I'm telling you, you've got a cult. There is a cult Andrew following. There's a fucking very strong 3 people that are out there that are like, yo, bring Andrew back. But Andrew, I got you here today because we celebrated 350 episodes of this thing that we started in a busted ass barn almost 10 years ago. It was me, you, and Walt on episode 1. Flash forward to, almost 10 years. December will be 10 years. And we have already hit 350 episodes. I got a chance to celebrate that with the crew, Ed, Cesar, and Ashley last week. If you haven't heard that episode, listeners, definitely do yourselves a favor. That is a exercise episode, but it was a lot of fun, and you'd enjoy it. But like I said, the whole crew was here last week. We did that special Q&A episode. We received a bunch of great questions from listeners and friends. And Drew, honestly, your name was brought up in a lot of the answers and stories we shared, especially from Cesar. So even though you weren't there, in person, you were there in spirit.
I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much. It's very touching.
I know you're a busy man, and you can't join us for every recording, but I got you here.
Oh no, I can join you for every recording.
I'm like, shut up.
No, I'm available.
Yeah, shut up. I only got 4 mics. But I got you here in person today, and I want to share some of these questions that were submitted. And I want to hear what you got to say about the podcast, comics, Holy Grails.
You want to hear what I have to say about this podcast?
Oh my God, damn it. The legal liability, Andrew strikes again. But yeah, dude, we got a bunch of great questions. I was like, I'd really like to hear Drew's response to some of these. So,
and this is the first time in my life that I've taken this podcast seriously. I have notes.
Damn. Well, I mean, you've come before with notes, but I am honored that you would take our listeners and their questions seriously.
So 100%. I can't wait to talk about all of this stuff.
I'm sure everyone appreciates that. Regardless, Drew, let's go ahead and get this thing started because we have a lot of questions to address.
We've got things to talk about.
Thank you, John Stewart. Let's see. I picked out a handful. So we got about 15 of them. Last week, I just picked out a handful, considering, this is going to be a short kind of bonus episode. Let's start off with this one that we got via Instagram. This is the question from Sugar Honey Iced Tea Post 2, which I think is a really comical name, but they asked a really good question. They want to know, what superpowers would you get based on your personality?
What was that? Question number 6. Dang, what was that? No, actually I wrote this down. So my it would be short-term memory loss. Like it'd
as
be
a superpower,
like as a superpower. Like I would just come up to you and start talking to you, and we would chit-chat for a little bit.
I think that superpower is called Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. Basically something like that. Like I come up to you, we talk, we have this deep, meaningful conversation, and then as soon as I say bye, you forget what you were doing. Like you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Like I interrupt you and like into stuff.
So wait, your power is that you cause amnesia.
Yeah, I cause amnesia for like 15 minutes. For like 15 minutes, it's just like no, that's my superpower. It's just like I can tell you nonsense bullshit, and then after a while you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Because I can just distract you.
Okay.
I'm that interesting. A villain's about to get the world domination, and I ask him one question. I'm like,
and they're like, wait, what am I doing in this outfit?
For real.
Why do I have this big red button that's glowing?
Who's that guy? And I just walk away.
Damn, so your power causes amnesia in like a mild case of Alzheimer's. Like early onset Alzheimer's.
But I'm telling you right now, all my conversations are like epic. Like we're having like good conversations. Like these meaningful, and then you forget what you're doing. That's what sucks, because then you're like, what was I doing? Now,
how does this tie into your personality?
Oh, just one of those things where like I can just talk and then like, what the fuck did he just say? What? For the life of me, there's been some times where like people are like telling me a story that I was there, and I was like, no, I was there. They're like, no, you weren't. I was like, no, I was. I was
here's
right next
picture.
to you.
Yeah, here's a picture.
So it's like, all right, I guess I caused that type of like, I'm so known but unknown that it's like, all right, I can do this.
How fucked up would it be if your powers decided to activate this episode and everyone listening ends up
forgets me? Just forgets. You're like, oh shit.
That would be wild. I was not expecting that answer. That's a very okay.
And I wrote it down, so it's proof.
I got you. I see what type of episode this is going to be. All right, I like that one. What about this next question right here? I'm kind of skip around. I know I gave you a list, but I'm going to skip around.
All I got to do is flip to my notes. I want to make sure I'm giving you gold.
And definitely, I see you holding your notepad up to the mic extra close, just for proof. You're like, listeners, I took this serious. Okay. What about this one from Eli Schwab? He had wrote, and I like this question. If you could go back in time and give yourself one comic to blow the younger self's mind, what would it be?
Bro, I can't do one. I have to do two. Because only because me and you, if we met our younger selves, we would talk for a little bit and then get on a tangent.
Oh, for sure. It's like, wait, what am I supposed to be here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So the first one to blow myself's mind. How old would you go? That's what I wanted to ask. Like, yo, what age do you go to try to because at that point it's just like, yo, time travel would be possible, but it's like, yo, would you believe yourself?
You're like, who the fuck is this guy? I guess I had answered the question from the perspective of like meeting my, like preteen self just getting into comics. How about that? Like meeting your kind of teenage self that's just really kind of getting into comics and finding themselves.
Oh, okay. All right, well, because I'm trying to figure out like what I was in. I would have to be like manga. Like I would have to show myself manga, like One Piece. I'd be like, hey man, listen, when this comes out, make sure that
you like start this shit now because it's gonna take until you get my age to even get finished or caught up.
Appreciate it.
That's cool.
That one,
okay? Because I do remember, we are of the age where Shonen Jump had first like really popped off. And animes or mangas, and even animes too, like One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Z, etc., had just started or got over here to the States. And I remember One Piece, like, I had read a few of them in Shonen Jump, but I just kind of fell off. So you're saying you'd go back and be like, yo, stick with it.
Yeah. But, okay, so now if I can go back to when I was like 17, 18.
Sure.
Where it's like I can put my hands on myself. Like, you have to, like... Because
no, you got to shake yourself up.
Yo, like I would be 17. I'd be like, "Hey, listen," and you'd be like, "Shut up, old man." I would hit me so hard. And then I would like whisper something like, "Oh, I know about this."
Oh yeah.
Like, yo, what are you here for? I was like, I came here to show you 2 comic books.
You're like
the first one. I would show them Miles Morales, number 1. I'm like, yo.
Just give me a black Spider-Man. What if that sounds very like? What if you just started screaming? Your younger self just started screaming. What? What?
He would be. He would be super excited because of that suit. I'd
you know what?
Like, this is the new Spider-Man, and he's half Puerto Rican.
You beat me to it. Your younger self would probably.
I was like, yo, his name, Miles Morales. It gives that much powerful like Peter Parker. There's Peter Parker, and there's Miles Morales. He is going to be dope as shit.
And you're like, and please hold on to his first appearance. Yeah. It's going to be worth a couple.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. If you can, you're going to have a friend named Greg Hopkins. You are going to
value your friendship with Greg.
Keep every Ultimate comic book that comes out because later that is going to build an empire. You're like, what are you talking about? Listen, I don't have much time. I have to tell you one more thing. Dr. Octopus is going to be Spider-Man. But then I don't show him anything. I just tell him that.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what?
It's like...
Make a bet with your friends. Bet $1,000 that at some point Dr. Octopus will be Spider-Man.
That's pretty funny. I had a similar answer. I went with Akira. I feel like if I would have shown my younger self Akira, that would have really blew my mind. I think it's unlike anything I was reading at that point.
So you went manga too?
Yeah, I went manga too. Because I like manga was still.
Here I thought I was innovative.
I was reading manga like Rurouni Kenshin, Dragon Ball Z. There was another like and anything in Shonen Jump.
That's like a whole nother level.
Exactly. That's a classic, right? Like had I shown myself a very cherished and highly acclaimed, I think manga like Akira, I think that would have almost steered me maybe more towards reading more manga.
I was having this conversation with Kara, and we were talking about like comic books. She's surprised that like comic book art as well as manga art is not like
revered.
Yeah, is not as held to a higher standard in the art community as it should be.
I agree. It is
like there should be a category for it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's of the thinking like, you know, when you bring out like comic books to people and they're kind of like, oh, comic books, okay, but you try to like, you know,
all that stuff that you love was inspired by Akira.
Yeah, something. Yeah, especially
there's like something like, yo, I love Matrix. Oh, do you?
Yeah. Well, what do you think about this? Is this Kitty?
Yeah.
Is it still a Kitty for you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Akira would have definitely changed the way I look at it.
Dude, I remember when you were reading those and you would send me those panels.
I was like, what? I read it 2 years. I was like 30 years old when I first read it, and I was still like, what?
This is crazy. But it paid off. It was like really good, and you're like. It's definitely timeless. That is a timeless manga.
Oh, for sure. You could read it to this day. I mean, granted, you need 40 hours.
So how old are you giving yourself that? Like
I said, like preteen, just kind of getting into comics.
But knowing you're preteen, your preteen, will your preteen listen to yourself?
Fuck no. Dude, look, I don't even listen. Not that I don't listen. It takes me forever to get to people's recommendations today.
Mm-hmm.
My younger self, I think I had more time, younger. I think I was absorbing so much. I probably would have needed some sort of
what album would
guidance.
you give yourself, like from the future? Like you're like, hey man, this is going to be the future of music.
I would have given myself Outkast. I would have given myself Outkast earlier because I didn't really get into Outkast till after high school. Even though I was best friends with Daniel, who is an Outkast diehard aficionado, and I never gave them a chance because I thought they just sounded weird. I was more into like New York stuff.
Okay,
I would have given him Outkast. It would have blew my mind
that
earlier.
Southern rap. You would have had like that Southern rap. All right, cool.
All right, let me move on to this next question. All right,
okay.
This one comes from 10 Cent Takes. They had asked, if this was the 350th issue of a comic, what villain would you be fighting? Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
Oh, and this is the one question I told you that I'm just going to tell you mine, and then you tell me what everybody else said.
Okay, deal. I think I remember.
Straight up, Civil War. We'd be fighting each other. Like, we would get a Spotify deal. Half of us don't sign. It'd be me, Ed, Ashley, David on one side, and then Botter, Cesar, Adam, and Parrish on the other side. And
damn, it's a family affair.
Yeah, family affair.
Damn.
350 issues.
Bro, this sounds a lot like the Joe Budden podcast beef. I see where the inspiration came from.
Only because I was like, no, here's the thing. Only because, like, that's what you have to do. Like, you have to do Civil War. That's it.
Yeah, I think by the
heroes fighting heroes.
I think by the 350th, you run out of your options of villains. Okay.
And like Walt's not in there because I don't know which way Walt would sway.
You're right.
He would be the one that stomps him.
You're right. He would show up at issue 5 of 6, and he'd be the trump card to stop it. You're right.
I'm stuck. Me and you are stuck in this conversation that I'm trying to have you so you can forget.
Damn, your superpowers came in effect. Yeah, that's funny.
What are your superpowers? What did you choose?
I had said armor skin like Colossus, but mine was very deep. I was like, I hold a lot of stuff in, but I've got a tough exterior for that, which was like way too fucking deep. Yours is like really funny. Like you would fuck with some people really hard.
I'm telling
you,
your
amnesic powers.
Amnesic powers.
That's funny shit. What was everyone's supervillains? Ed was. You know what? I'm starting to see a common fucking thread with you assholes. Ed said that he would have picked. He said that it would be me. I'd like turn evil or some shit like that. Like they'd all team up against me because I would just turn evil or big head, whatever. Ashley said, I want to say Ashley said Loki. Ashley said Loki,
okay.
But she said she wouldn't fight Loki. She would just be like, okay, that's fine. I'll bow him down and do whatever you want me to do. Cesar's was pretty good. It's kind of in line with yours, where it's the classic time misplaced story where the episode 100 version of us are fighting the 350th version of us, and we're not sure, like, who's the good guy or is this who we become and whatnot. It's one of those stories, which I thought was pretty cool.
Damn, that's
like a classic
way
Avengers.
better than Civil War.
And then my dumbass chose, I said, if I just want to be completely random, Akuma.
He would kill everybody.
No, for sure. Akuma would be coming here to fuck us up with some flying Hadokens. But then I also said Dark Side because like when you think like big milestone villains, Because when Tencent sent this question, they had used a picture of like I think Amazing Spider-Man 350, if I'm not mistaken, and on the cover was Spider-Man and Doctor Doom in the back. Okay. You know, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, these big milestone episodes, especially in comic books, especially like with superhero comics and the big two, they always use those kind of big, 50, 100, 150, 250, blah blah blah, to cross over with villains that you don't normally see. So Spider-Man wouldn't normally be up against Doctor Doom, but for the 350th, he would. So in my head, it's like, well, that's when we would fight Darkseid, like completely big boss.
Pretty good.
All right. Let's see. Next question I want to ask you. Let's talk about some comic recommendations. Okay. Let's go to the comic book keeper's question. What single comic or series is your go-to reading recommendation? So do you have any, what's your go-to reading or comic recommendation?
Well, I think this is the one where we discussed, like, it just depends on, like, the person who I'm, like, talking to and, like, what I think that they would be into. Because there's so many good things that you can just recommend. Solely like a movie. Like,
I think the audience matters, right? Yeah.
Audience matters. Like, it's like, and I had wrote this down where if I know that person long enough, the end-all, be-all recommendation for me is Invincible. I don't ever...
Wow, I don't know why I didn't say that.
I don't ever recommend Invincible right off rip. I feel like that's one of the things where you have to learn about it.
Honestly, I would almost disagree and say Invincible is such a welcoming and easy to get into superhero art. Like if they enjoy superhero stuff and they're looking for something new, I'd go Invincible. Because for a few reasons, you don't need to. It's not based on any pre-existing character or title. It's its own thing. And in 135 issues, 135 issues or whatever that number is, you get a full story. That's a really good record. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one.
For the DC style, Superman All-Star.
Nice. Classic. That's like Reddit's favorite Superman recommendation.
I think it's really good. It does a really good job establishing Superman as a character. And I think it's just really, really fun. Another one. I would go Jason Aaron Thor.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Because, like, I didn't get to my Marvel stuff.
Oh, damn, you had a whole... All right, my apologies.
I told you I did one for everything.
Damn, continue. All right, so break down this category.
Oh, just Jason Aaron's Thor? Jason Aaron's Thor, it just looks gorgeous. Isard Ribic does a really good job. They add in some really strong female characters. At a certain point, Thor's no longer Thor. They change. Dude, when they changed hands and made Jane Foster Thor... Mm-hmm. That was some of the greatest reading I've ever experienced.
Oh, so you're talking about that whole run?
That whole run is just beautiful.
Yeah,
it is, and then it pays off way at the end. It definitely pays off at the end.
Fair enough.
That to me is just that would be the one where I'm like, hey, listen, and like you like Chris Hemsworth? They're like, yeah, all right, cool. This is a Chris Hemsworth story. Have fun. This is going to be great. Okay. And there's time travel. Christian Bale's going to be in it.
True. He is slated to play, I guess,
Gar.
Yeah. Okay, that's good stuff.
I remember you would read those before me, and it was all hype.
The good old days. The good old days of Marvel. That does lead me to the next question then, from Dan Morales. They wanted to know, what are your favorite comic book arcs? So not necessarily ones that you recommend, but even I think those kind of synonymous. What do you got for your favorite comic book arcs?
Favorite comic book arcs goes back to the Hawkeye. So I'm so sorry, but Hawkeye is one of my favorite arcs.
Fair enough.
Only because it's a simple, like you said, slice of life. Mm-hmm. Very simple. Looks gorgeous. Like, I remember when that came out, that blew my mind. I was all for it. And I was like the biggest Hawkeye fan after that. Like, I was like...
Yeah, I think between you and Amber at the time, you guys are the ones that got me into it.
So gorgeous. And those purple, white, and the covers, like... I was like, damn, David Alge is dope.
Oh, man, yeah. He that series put him on the map. Okay, let me move on to this other question I got here. And this one was a fun one. And this one came from Instagram as well, from Wynauticus. Marvel or DC? Ask you to write your favorite comic right now. What's your first arc?
For Marvel or DC?
Ooh, you can't prepare for both. Mm-hmm. Shit, give me both. Whatever one you want to start with.
All right, so for Marvel, I would pick... Aaron Stack, Machine Man.
Wow. A Machine Man joint. Okay.
Machine Man joint. And at some point, he is hiking through the woods and he stumbles upon a Sentinel that's decommissioned. And he powers it up and he starts fucking with it and then gives it AI capabilities because he's trying to fix it. Something happens where it gives the Sentinel AI abilities. And the Sentinel doesn't want to he's starting to understand. He starts liking like society because Aaron Stack's talking to him like, you know, he's Machine Man. He's like, I know what it's like to like not know what's going on. Da 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 da. But at the same time, the X-Men look at him as a threat.
Where the fuck did the X-Men come from?
Because it's a Sentinel, so they're trying to like go around
Sentinel.
like
Okay,
it's a Sentinel, so they're trying to like decommission or whatever. They see that he's active.
That's
so they're
cool.
coming to investigate. So it'd be like maybe like 2 or 3 X-Men that come and try to see like what's going on.
And then you got the classic misunderstanding.
Yep. And Aaron
what are you doing with that Sentinel?
Yeah. And like,
he's my friend.
Yeah. So it's like, and then the Aaron Stack's like trying to hide the Sentinel.
That's cool. Okay.
All the X-Men on.
Why Machine Man? That's an interesting choice.
I got into Machine Man because like I was like when we were doing the Jack Kirby stuff, I got hard like I was just like, man, I just want to read everything Jack Kirby. So it was one of those comic books that he came back for and he got to do. They look gorgeous and the whole concept's dope.
What is the concept?
The concept is the government made his original name is X-52. I think it's X-52 or X-51. I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
So the government made a bunch of robots. And they wanted them to be like human-like, like almost like androids. But they all failed. But then one doctor took 51. He took it with him and raised him like a child to teach him stuff because all the robots were like psychopaths or whatever. So then he becomes like self-aware. And then him and the doctor gets hunted. The doctor blows up. But like right before he dies, he's like, I'm gonna make your dream come true where like robots and people can like coexist.
I'm getting such heavy Astro Boy / Mega Man vibes.
Kind of like that, that straight up like that. It's like Astro Boy, Mega Man meets like, but he's an adult man. And I've read like a couple of this issue. I wanted to get up to like the 3-issue miniseries, and then I really got heavily into him when he was in Next Agents, as well as they used him a lot in the Iron Man 2020.
Damn, so you've been following Machine Man for a minute.
Yeah,
okay.
He's pretty cool, man. I like where he ends up and where he goes, because like where he starts and where he looks like now is definitely different. And it's like, to me, it's a concept where it's like, oh, he's a robot that like is like self-aware, has like feelings and everything. Him and Vision have probably a lot in common, but like he has his own like, I don't know. Robot Man to me is like Plastic Man in the robot form for Marvel. Like, he has such the potential to be such a cool character, but, like, it's just really hard to, like, break through with him.
Interesting answer. I like it. What about your DC pitch?
Pick a character and I'll do it.
Well, who did you write down?
And I did not write anything down because I came confident where if you give me a character that I'm going to freestyle right off rip.
Okay. Well, shit, let's give this a shot.
Okay, that's how confident I am in my DC writing.
Creeper? Oh,
what do you want? Like, all right, pick the setting. Is he a team
I don't
or is he by himself?
No.
Is he a team by himself? I need to know.
By himself.
By himself. All right, so Creeper. Last time we saw him, he was in Detective Comic Books. Oh, man. He would get no. Here's the thing. He would get it like because he's a news guy and stuff. Like it would go the whole point of like the TV route, either a YouTube route or a TV route. He's becoming like super famous. He starts like filming himself, like doing all these crimes, not all these crimes, but like saving people. And then they turn on him.
Okay,
it's very simplistic.
All right, I guess I'll give you that. I'll give you points for being so quick on the fly. If I really wanted to give you a grade, I feel like it'd be a D. You know, I'd give you like a C.
Yeah, I'll take a C.
Because it's like I know you need this grade to graduate. That was good. Well,
I did not expect Creeper. That was going.
Well, I mean, I was like, shit. If he's out here trying to flaunt, I'm gonna give him a fucking random fucking C-list guy. Let me move on with these questions. I'm gonna work backwards on this list now. Warren wrote in and had wanted to know, what is a comic each of you own that you would consider a personal grail or just something with sentimental value, and why?
So, to go back, it's so funny that you're talking about Flashpoint. If I had to pick one comic book that has sentimental value, it would be my third printing Mike McCone Teen Titans #1, written by Jeff Johns.
Okay.
The original cover was a Michael Turner cover.
Okay.
And then there was a second printing.
That one, yeah.
There was a second printing, and then there was a third printing. The third printing was this really great, like, Mike McCone cover where he just drew a bunch of characters. Yeah, if you type in just Teen Titans #1, third printing, Mike McCone, it'll power up. It was a white background, and I got it from Suncoast Comics, and it was the first time that I was made aware of second and third printings.
You were probably like, what the fuck is this cover?
I was like, yeah, because like in my head, the cover that I wanted was the Michael Turner cover, but Walker was working, and he went above and beyond to hunt me down to number 1. I ended up going to a con and getting the Michael Turner cover, but that Mike McCone cover to me is way more iconic because it was like, yo.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick cover. I give you that. It's got the full Teen Titan, and Mike McCone is so good. He's such a talented artist.
And yeah, that's when I was writing this down. It made me even think. I was like, yo, George Perez and Marv Wolfman, Jeff Johns, Mike McCone.
Yeah, it's a good little follow. Yeah, as far as like passing the torch, writing and drawing a Killer Teen Titans series. Yeah,
because Mike McCone's he's able to crank out drawings and not make them like. I mean, every character's kind of looks similar, kind of like George Perez. George Perez, all characters either look Latino, Jewish, white, or black. That's it. It's either or. Mike McCone is able to do that as well. Like he's able to draw like just all these characters, and his Deathstroke. Jeff Johns writing Deathstroke is probably the scariest thing.
Yeah, this was like Jeff Johns' heyday too. Okay, that's a good answer.
He was just like touring one comic book.
Okay, did you have anything else that you would consider a holy grail or for sentimental reasons?
Oh yeah, my Joe Quesada statue. The Daredevil statue.
Oh, the one where it's Daredevil kind of like holding or on his.
He's kneeling on. He's like on a rooftop. He's on a rooftop. He's kind of
kneeling over the cross.
Yeah, he's kneeling over the cross. His rope is everywhere. Too. His rope's everywhere. It has that classic Joe Quesada look. You've seen that cover. It's one of my favorite Daredevil covers of all time.
Where'd you get the statue?
When we went to MegaCon.
Oh.
It was like, it didn't come with a box, and it was broken.
Oh, damn, that's right.
And it was like, I remember paying, I was like, well, I'm
$20. Here's $20.
I was like, I'm going to buy this, and that's how much I liked it. It didn't even come with a box, and it was broken. And I just glued what was broken, but that to me is like, I love that thing. That's my favorite thing. That's cool. It comes with me, like, whenever I move, it's the first thing that I move, like, it's like a totem. Like, I was watching, like, how,
it's fragile.
Yeah, you know how, like, museums, they have, like, all their, like, ceramics wrapped? Like, I was watching videos, like, how do you saran wrap like this? Because I treat it like that. It's like, this is amazing.
That's cool. Okay. I had said all of my, like, comics I got from my dad. So the Fantastic Four comic that he gave me, this Spider-Man one, and then this Mark Waid one. The Mark Waid Captain America that I got signed at that MegaCon, the first one. But then I had some time to, like, think, because I started thinking about MegaCon, because Cesar shared a story about his Holy Grail and sentimental one, and it was the Hellboy first appearance, X-Men number 21, CGC, that you got him. Great story. And I was curious, before I share mine, before I finish my thought, do you remember getting him that X-Men number 21?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, was it? I mean, what do you remember from it?
This is MegaCon before it was like MegaCon. Like, this is UltraCon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
UltraCon.
Yeah. It was for our listeners who never attended MegaCon back in the early days, and we're talking like 2000. I mean, the first one I went to was 2009, 10. I think I went 11 and 12. But in the early days of MegaCon, before it is what it is now, which
Walking Dead.
Wow, that is right.
You can just say
before
Walking Dead, yeah. Before Walking Dead.
Before MegaCon became like more of an entertainment convention with like where the focus is on movie stars and TV and that realm. It was like the place to go to as far as a comic collector. Like it was the whole floor was covered with comic vendors, and you could buy manga and then toys and statue.
You can buy everything.
Yeah, now not so much. It's mainly focused on actors and
movie
talent.
Props and like buying costume stuff. Like, it's all cosplay and same thing. It's more commercialized.
Yeah,
like, this one felt like a lot of like vendors that were like, no, this is my job.
Yeah. So you had gotten. Because I think this is probably the one where we took that picture together. Me, you, Cesar, and Walker. You got him this during like one of those years, right? Like early MegaCon comic book years.
Oh, yeah. That was one of those, like, you would go in. There was a guy I distinctly remember, a gentleman. He would always stand up straight. He had glasses, and he would wear the Universal Studio, like, Spider-Man, X-Men shirts, the Hawaiian ones. The
wraparound print.
Yeah, the wraparound print. Like, those, to me, like, now, I would rock the hell out of them. I would rock them.
And
now.
Right now on eBay or second, easy.
Probably
like these fucking resellers that are 18 that did not live through it when it was nerdy as shit to have that shirt.
The graphic is very much the 90s
comic books, yeah.
So this guy would always like wear that. Real cool, but he would only have trade paperbacks, and the only comic books that he sold were in CGC boxes.
And considering the time frame we're talking, CGC wasn't like a hot thing.
It wasn't
like,
popular.
Yeah, it's almost like I know personally, I would skip over so many CGC. It's like, no, I'm looking for this issue regular floppy.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, I got a CGC. And you're like, well, then what the fuck's the point? I can't read it.
Yeah, I can't read it. Like,
yeah, not thinking like, oh, I should probably pick these up now for cheap. But anyways.
But so it was definitely one of those. And it was like probably like half off. And that's what I'm saying. I told you, like, I didn't even talk that guy down. The guy talked himself down.
He's like, $40. You know what? $30 for you.
No, $20 and I'll give you a coupon so you can go real quick and get one of those pretzels. Thank you.
You're like, all right, you're driving a hard bargain, buddy. $10, $50 coupon.
Yeah. So do you remember a lot of those vendors? Because like, but the age-old thing is like you would walk, look at that comic book, and your impulse was to buy, but I was like, no, you take a risk.
Oh no, you definitely
take a risk.
I mean, how many times did you get burned buying? That book you were looking for from the first vendor you found, and then you'd walk around
and 50 cents
for a few hours later, found another vendor that was on the opposite side of the floor, and that guy had it for $1. $1 bet, and you're like, damn it!
I would have saved my back a lot. Yeah, I would have had a better back.
And I guess here's the thing too: it's like at the time. I didn't have a lot of money, so every dollar counted, and I'd beat myself up if I found something for $5 less a few minutes later. But with that being said, what I wanted to say was I got to thinking about more sentimental things that I cherish, and thinking of MegaCon, because Warren actually made a comment. I posted on Instagram, made a little reel, and I shared some photos from that MegaCon event from like the first one, and you were wearing like that Joker fitted. That 5950.
Oh, Iceman Mr. Kicks.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. I bought mine for there too.
Iceman Mr. Kicks.
And Warren left a comment and was like, yo, I hope Drew still has that hat. And I said, I replied, I was like, I texted, I was like, more than likely he does. I know I bought one because, I love that hat a lot too. And I actually found it in my storage unit a few months ago.
Nice.
Bro, dusty. I think there might have been some mold on it. Did I throw it away? Fuck no. I just kind of, kind of dusted it off. But speaking about hat, all of this has a point. In that same photo I shared, and you can find it on Instagram, it's the reel I made with Cesar's story. I am wearing a Marvel hat. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's a Marvel hat with the letter, I think, M or S. But it's like Spider-Man and Green Goblin. It's like a panel from the Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
The Versus.
Thank you. It was the Versus line that 5950 did.
Bro.
And it teamed up, it teamed up, like one hat had Wolverine Sabretooth, another one, it was like
what was cool was the inside of the hat.
Yes.
The inside of the hat had all the artwork.
Yeah. Inside of the hat was kind of like a panorama.
Dang,
of the comic panel. It was like a collage of like the character. But on the front of the hat, it was just a VS.
Yeah, but the graphic would be in the VS. Yeah,
inside of the VS was your collage or a panel.
And you had the Spider-Man Green Goblin.
Yeah, I had Spider-Man Green Goblin joint. And it was like Ditko Spider-Man Green Goblin on the VS, and then inside of the hat, that giant wraparound collage. I think it might have been on like one of the covers. But my first MegaCon convention, I had every artist and writer I met sign the hat with a silver Sharpie because the hat was all black.
Yes.
And I am proud to say that hat, for the most, some of the signatures are mad faded, and some of them I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy was.
This is before you didn't have a cell phone on you. Like, you didn't have a cell phone to take these pictures.
Yeah, on my digital camera. You had
to have a digital camera, and that battery would die.
But that is one of my most cherished things.
That's
it's
good.
Like, I've got, for sure, comic books that I cherish for sentimental reasons, but I know I've got stuff like that.
Oh, I got the MegaCon CD still. I got the MegaCon CD that we went around. And the
mix I made for the trip.
Yeah. Who was the one artist, and I don't want to shame anybody, but there was one artist that did not want to sign it because he's like, I didn't draw it. And I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Oh, that's right, because I got my hat signed, and you got the seat, and this is back when you were still burning fucking CDs. I made for anyone, for our listeners at this point, I used to make a mix every MegaCon trip because to me, a 2-hour drive to Orlando was like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And Drew got
many a Kid Cudi.
Drew fucking got this blank CD signed by just about every fucking artist
Mega
writer.
Con CD.
But there was one or two artists that were like, yo, this is kind of weird. I'm not going to sign this.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, come on, dude.
Just be cool. Just be cool. Be cool.
This guy literally has like a stack of 100 books for you to sign. I have one CD. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Like,
if it was that one artist, like, I don't really listen to rap. Or something like that. Like they were like, well, what type of music's on here?
I was like,
and it was mainly like hip hop and rap and shit. And I think
blues
they were
country.
Yeah, and they were like, I don't really listen to it. I'm not gonna sign it. Come on, you fucking asshole.
Like, come on.
Anyways, okay, those are good answers. Let me move on to this next question.
Oh,
Yeah, and kind of sticking to the similar one. This one comes from Trey Namo. He wanted to know, out of all the holy grails in this crazy collecting world, what are your personal grails that you'd never part ways with? I think you kind of answered that. So the second one mainly then. Second part of this question. What are your white whales that got away? And are there any speculation books or prints that you invested in that have backfired? And I know, and that's one thing I want our listeners to know is Drew is a very savvy collector in the sense of he's got this uncanny ability, aside from his amnesic powers, apparently.
Yep.
To be able to kind of tell what books are going to be hot. And I've seen Drew throughout the years buy books, sit on them, and then he's got like a good gold mine. And it's not like, you're not a shark about it. It's like, I got a good feeling with this. So I know this question is right up your alley.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
Well, what are your tell me about some of your white whales that got away. And then are there any speculator books or prints that you invested in thinking
that
it was going to be a lot that backfired?
Okay. So the white whales that have gotten away are some of those Hellboy figures. The comic book ones. The ones that now are just super dumb expensive. Like,
I won't even lie, I don't even think I know what you're talking about.
They made some Hellboy figures, like I think it's Mezco or whatever.
Oh shit! Yo, didn't you gift me one of those?
Yeah, I gifted you one of those. Yeah, so
dude,
that
that thing is at Fort Knox.
Okay,
like when I realized, this goes for a lot of money in the secondary market.
Yeah,
you're right.
And they just keep going up.
Them Hellboy figures, because there wasn't a lot of Hellboy figures produced back then, and the ones that were produced were like big size, like a big ass toy.
So, yeah, that was one of the ones where I was like, yeah, I would see those all the time, and I wish I would have just, like, scooped them up whenever. I was like, nah, it's okay. This will be here next year.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third.
Okay.
So, that was probably one of the, those have gotten away. Oh, man. There's been times where I think the white whales are, like, there's some creators that I've could have had a chance to, like, meet, and I just never got to. Case in point, Stanley. I have had many an opportunity to meet Stan Lee when we went to MegaCon because he was there every year, and I never met him.
Well, is there a difference in the sense, like, was there an opportunity to
because any of the
talk
times
or chat with him, or you just didn't want to pay?
No, it's not that to pay. It's like, anytime he does like the live show and stuff,
the panels.
You were like, I'm gonna do this panel. I was like, no, I'm gonna go talk to this artist real quick.
Yeah, I remember being like, I was kind of, I guess that was kind of weird. I remember one year being like, oh, they do panels. I've wondered what those are all about, and I would go. And you'd be like, all right, I'll catch you in an hour. I'm going to be hunting these, dollar quarter boxes.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, should I be
I'm
doing
gonna
that?
Get Teton Titans. No, you got to enjoy more because you got to meet people. You got to, like, see things in your stories. So I was like, oh, man. So any opportunity to go see a creator, like, I should have just gone ahead and done it then because you don't know what's going to happen.
True. That's a good point. All right. What about, what are some books, some comics, let's talk comics specifically, that you have purchased thinking, oh, this is going to be worth a little something later, that have completely backfired?
Oh, some of my Green Lantern books. Like Green Lantern books, I thought that was like, oh, these things.
Which ones?
Go for, after Jeff John left, when they did the New 52 and like Vendetti showed up and they were just doing a lot of different stuff, I was like, these are going to be worth money because they're adding a bunch of different lanterns. They keep delving into more different lanterns. I was like, this is going to be the moneymaker. The action figures, those things are going for crazy amount. The comic books, they're cheap as hell.
Where you finally made a quarter bin?
Yeah.
What about? Are there any? Because you do a lot of selling on eBay and whatnot in trades and whatnot. Are there any books, comics? Once again, we'll stick with comics that you feel like you sold or traded off too early, and then a year passes and it's like, damn, that went double in value. Had I held on to it, just a little longer. Yeah, any of those?
Yeah, the Miles Morales first appearance.
Oh man,
I wish I would have held on to that one. I was just like, well, I'm just.
Do you recall what you sold it for?
It's like $120 $20.
What does that book go for now?
Oh.
What is his first? I will look it up right now.
Oh, his first appearance right now. His first appearance. Here's the thing. Let me tell you right now. The second printing, first appearance of Miles Morales, $250.
Here's the thing. All right, folks, I want you to know. Drew also has an uncanny ability. When he gives you a price, it's probably because he's already looked it up.
100%.
I've never met someone that is so attuned.
I look at it sometimes like
eBay.
what could have been.
Yeah. What is Miles Morales' first appearance?
It is Ultimate.
Of course you know.
Issue number 4 of
Fallout, right?
Fallout, yeah. Ultimate.
Damn,
yeah.
I didn't even have to type in anything. It just kind of auto-filled it.
Yeah, you'll see for like $1,500. Like $1,500, $2,000.
Jeez Louise. CGC, first thing that popped up, 9.4 for $875. There's a listing. Now, granted, that's not what it sold for. That's just a listing. Let's go and filter out by sold and completed recently. Damn. So you had a hold of this and you sold it a little too early.
Yeah, because when the Miles Morales, when that movie came out, that book skyrocketed.
Oh, I bet. Actually, damn. So a facsimile edition recently sold for $20, and then a regular bagged and boarded one for $305.
$305? Okay.
Damn. Woo. Oh, hold up. And then I think this one's CG. No, this is a sealed. How the hell did they get a sealed one? Ultimate Fallout, first printing, sealed poly bag, first appearance, Miles Morales, brand new, recently sold, like actually today, the listing's today, for $1,100.
Damn.
I'm sure this is crushing your heart right now. You know what's crazy is that these facsimiles also sell for a lot of money now. I remember Ben telling me like, yo, people come in here and scoop up these facsimile editions of these like classic books, and they sell for, they're $4 books, but they end up selling for $20, $25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good one. I was thinking about the time that I sold my Saga issues.
Oh my god!
Way too early. I think I sold number 1 not even 5 full years after its premiere. I sold it way too. I think I can't recall, but maybe $100. And I know right now, I don't even want to look at what it goes for.
Please look at it now. Listen,
okay, I guess I got. Yeah, I guess I got to share it. All right. What does Saga number 1 go for? Saga number 1, first print, and it was a first print too. All right, first post listing I see is for $255. It's got 21 bids, 2 days left. First printing, actually, I can't even find. Oh, yeah, actually, I can't even find. I guess everyone was like, "Nah, I'm still gonna hold on to this." I see some CGCs that sold for like $800, $700. Anyways, regardless, long story short, I sold Saga number 1 way too fucking early. So
should have waited a little bit longer. Oh snap!
Yeah,
I could have got a PlayStation. I could have traded somebody a PlayStation 5 for the.
Yeah. All right, let me move on to this next question. This one's a Batman-centric question, and it's topical. It's something about brand new stuff. This one came from Instagram from a user by the name of Yusuf103. They wanted to know, do you think the Batman movie will be better than Batman Begins, or do you think they should have did a movie for Ben Affleck's Batman instead of Robert Pattinson?
Oh, and this is the one where I just was like, I'm going to have fun with this one. Should they have done a Batman Ben Affleck one? Yes, but only if he gets to direct it and Jennifer Lopez plays Poison Ivy. That's the only reason
why Poison Ivy?
Why not? Just in the sense of like J-Lo with red hair, she can, she look like she'll kill you with her kiss. Like you'll just you'll just die.
She has driven that man crazy.
Oh yeah, for real. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, all right, and this will be a third shot at them doing a movie, and hopefully it turns out good.
Better than Gile. Gotcha.
Hopefully. What was the other thing I was going to say? Will it be better than Batman Begins? Batman Begins came out in 2005.
Damn.
And I looked it up and I was like, I was 17 at that time. So you have to convince 17-year-old me that the Robert Pattinson movie is going to be good. Will I think it'll be good? I think it'll be very entertaining. I think I'm going to watch Year One. Basically, I think I'm watching Year One.
I think the director, Matt Reeves, has said some of the inspiration he's pulling from is Year One, Long Halloween, and then the Darwin Cook Batman Ego story.
Oh, see?
Among some other things, of course.
So there you go. I'm for it. It's going to be cool.
It looks cool as shit. Just from the, all we got to go by is the trailers. Uh-huh. It looks cool. It looks like it's going to be action-packed, and we are getting, hopefully, a good detective a young Batman, but also that's, learning his way around, a crime scene.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I want that detective Batman and the music. I'm excited about the music.
Why so?
Only because that trailer music is freaking sick. Like when
freaking sick.
It is freaking sick, bro. It is freaking
sometimes shit is just freaking sick. It's
it's freaking sick.
Yeah.
You know the trailer I'm talking about? It's the one where like he blows up the car and he's like walking up and he's like,
where it's like Penguin is looking at him upside down and the camera kind of tilts.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like everything about it screams cool. It's just going to be rugged, cool. It looks like it's going to be like no holds bar type shit.
Yeah, and 110% there's gonna be no holds bar. This Batman looks like he's not messing around.
No, not at all.
I feel like Matt Reeves is like, Rob Patterson's like, yo, what did you do? What did you do to prepare for this? I played all the Arkham games on hard. What do you mean on hard? On the hardest difficulty. I'm talking about. I got the add-ons, the unlock.
Damn.
So you didn't like live the luxury of a Playboy? Like no.
No.
I played the Arkham games on the hardest setting, and I 100% it because that's what Batman would do.
Damn right. Damn. Yeah, I feel like that'd make a man out of anyone. You know, like that would make you a Batman. If you could beat them games on the hardest mode,
bro. Do you remember?
You know how hard that game is just on easy.
But he beats it on hard, and he got that 88 hit combo. I know you know what I'm talking about when you be like pap pap pap, and you be hitting dudes through walls.
God damn, I love that. I kind of feel like a replay is long.
Which
overdue.
one of them? There's like 3 great ones.
I think I bought the PlayStation recently released like a version that had like I want to say either 2 of them or all 3.
Okay.
And I haven't touched that because I played Arkham Knight and I was good, but I never played any of the other ones.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm definitely missing out. I want to play the one that's got Deathstroke in it. Which one is that?
Arkham Origins.
Arkham Origins. That's one I want to play.
That's the one that everybody like talks about, and it's anticlimactic for Deathstroke. Because like you fight him throughout the entire game. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but
please don't spoil
the final battle. You're like, oh come on, man! Like I thought we was gonna fight.
Okay, fair enough. I kind of agree with you on here that I don't know if it'll. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum on the other episode, but I don't think you're going to be able to compare Batman Begins with this. You know, like I think a lot of time you got to account for like when that movie was released, the tone, the audience, and you know
what was going on.
Christopher Nolan's vision looks vastly like Matt Reeves' vision, and what this movie is going to be looks vastly different than what we got from Matt.
It looks almost like a Sin City, like almost type of vibe. Like,
so yeah,
like Daredevil can push.
But I will say I do wish we maybe would have gotten one more Ben Affleck Batman movie.
We are. He's going to be in the Flash movie.
Oh, he is. Oh, that's right.
Well,
wow, that's even more fucking confusing. It's like, damn, you got 2 Batmans running around in this universe. Now, granted, not everything needs to be connected, but it is kind of like a little jarring. But all right. Well, this last question, then. Let's wrap up with this last question from our boy T-Mix. He wants to know, and this one's for you, Drew.
Dang.
I just listened. He wrote that he was. I guess T-Mix is doing like a re-listen to all of our episodes.
I appreciate it.
And he just listened to episode 50. Everyone was asked what's been your favorite short box moment. So he wants to know what's been your favorite short box moment.
Oh, that's easy. Watching you guys do the live show at Mosh.
Oh,
that's
from 2 months ago.
Dude, yeah, that brought the dumbest smile on my face. I was so excited.
Damn. Why so?
I felt like a kid again. Like, I grew up in Jacksonville, so going to Mosh is very much like...
Yeah, it's got some sentimental...
super sentimental. And it's just like, you sit down, you look up, and I'm like, dang, that's a short box. That's like Ed's artwork, plastered in the planetarium, and you guys are about to do it, and it looks so great. Like,
yeah, Ed killed it on the
dude,
artwork.
well, not... Yeah, that, but like the way they set it up for you guys, like how you guys used the projector and stuff, like, it looked great. That thing was well polished and well put together. So it's just like, it was nice. And it was a very entertaining show. Learned a lot. Seeing panels, like, you guys had Steve Ditko panels and you guys were talking about, I was like, damn.
That aspect definitely wasn't lost on me, that we are at this, and I think that planetarium, the Brian Gooding Planetarium, was like one of the nicest ones, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that we were able to project, these classic comic book panels on this big ass fucking like screen.
Felt like a TEDx.
And that shit was like HD, It's like, damn, you've never seen a panel like
Bro,
this.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, when you were showing all the, like, case in point, when you were showing the lizard and then you guys were like, yeah, the lizard's from like the Everglades. I was like, fuck, I didn't know that.
My man's from Florida.
Yeah,
Florida born.
Florida man. I was like, holy shit, I did not know that. So it's like, I was like, oh, this is definitely cool.
Okay, give me, that is a great moment.
That's the only one I care about.
I want to hear a moment from a moment that you were involved in, and maybe one from like the early days of recording?
Well, just any of them with Walt. Like, no offense to the other crew. Like, I love the crew. They're a dope crew. But anytime we go and visit Walt, and we're just in hit. Like, yo, when we get back to the basics, like, this is cool. Like, I'm not gonna. This stuff that you build, amazing, beautiful. But when we go to Walt's house and we gotta be quiet.
Because the AC's
on,
yeah,
and we got
drinks
in
the kitchen,
and Walt's just hanging out, and we just talking. That like yo, anytime that to me is fun because it's
those
like
episodes are a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's 100% because it's just like yo, it's just three dudes talking, we're having a good time, and it's fun. And then Walt always blows my mind.
Oh, he's always saying so for me, it's always like either he's saying a hot take. Or, yeah, you're right. He's always saying some profound shit. Okay. So, yeah. Those are good ones. Especially like the first time we went down, when Walt first moved, and we went down to visit him, and we recorded. It was a good moment.
We recorded in his living room, if I'm not mistaken. We were all sitting down around the table.
Well, there was one, I think recently, where I forgot to bring my mic, and we were just recorded off at the iPad, and we were all talking into the iPad. That was a fun... The sound quality on that was trash, but... The first time we went down to Orlando and recorded an episode of Walt, and it had been like a couple, it had been, I don't want to say a couple years, but it had been a couple months since we had seen it.
Oh, yeah,
and
we're used to a couple episodes.
Exactly. And it was like, we were so used to seeing Walt on a weekly basis or him being involved with the show. And the fact that we were able to bring the show to him and still like record together. I remember like being in the moment, like, yo, this is really cool. Like, these guys are still here with it, even though they're not in Jax at all. That was a good time.
Yeah, that's what I will cherish those moments.
Okay, well, look,
I'm also involved in those moments. So there you go.
Yeah, you're still like, you're here today. It's like you're not dead. Well, Drew, those were really good answers, really good stories, and I'm glad. I got to have you on for this bonus episode and getting you involved with 350, man. Like I said, this milestone.
I like I'm the backup story, which is like, as always in issue 3 extra 50.
Oh yeah, this is issue 351, 350.1.
The one thing I've become the thing I hate.
Exactly.
Point one.
This is the prologue. All right. Well, in closing, I got one lightning round.
I still have to ask you a Batman question.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question.
We were talking about Batman for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, give me this Batman question.
So, let's just say in a comic book reality, if you had to take one of Batman's female fatales, right, out on a date, obviously it's not going to be a successful relationship. But let's just say like they in the middle, the middle of a bank heist, the middle of like a crime. You guys catch his eyes. She comes up to you and she's like, "Hey, listen, I gotta go. But when I get out in 9 months, like, yo, take me out on a date. Take me on a date because I think Batman's going to catch me. But
oh, man.
We can have a shot at
One
love.
Can only dream.
It's not going to work out. But you're like, yo, I'm taking her out on a date.
I'm just going for the thrill of it. All right. I'm living in the moment. All right. Let me think. Damn.
You have Talia al Ghul, Catwoman. Okay. I think at some point he would date Katana. Okay. Yeah, Catwoman.
Yep. Harley Quinn, I guess.
Harley Quinn.
Definitely don't want that baggage.
The
Joker, obviously. The Joker would be involved.
If you want to get real, like, punk rock, Magpie.
You know what it is? I'm kind of subverting here, but fucking Kanye West has become the Joker, and Kim Kardashian is Harley Quinn, just trying to move on with her life, and the Joker won't let her fucking be.
It's like, Harley, I'm dating Kite Man.
Pete Davidson is Kite Man. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I think my final answer is, even though, all right, I think my final answer would be Talia al Ghul.
Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, she's, she loves her father. So that's a great quality.
She's a family woman.
Exactly. Family woman, strong, independent, rich as fuck.
She got that hair in front of her face look, which I've never met any person that has hair in front of their face.
Yeah, that hair covering the comb over coming in one eye. You know what? It reminds me of old girl from Captain Planet. Dr. Blight. I've never met a chick that could pull the Dr. Blight from Captain Planet off well. But Talia al Ghul definitely has.
Talia al Ghul can.
All right. I've got one, I got one lightning round question for you before we wrap up. Because we're recording this on a Wednesday.
In front of a live studio audience.
Look at that live studio. They love us. We're recording this on a Wednesday, but specifically the Wednesday before the season finale of Peacemaker, which is a show that we both have really loved. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, Drew. I championed it on the last episode.
Because I want to champion it.
And I was expecting like maybe at least Ashley to have watched it and hype me up because it feels like a show she would like. And I brought it up. No one's watching it.
Nobody's watched it?
Well, she said she watched the first 2 episodes. The first one, wasn't a big fan of John Cena. Hasn't watched it since, right?
That's everybody keeps saying
I know.
that.
And I mean, I was among it, right? I said, I don't really care for John Cena.
Keep on.
That's what I said. So I wanted to use this opportunity to, kind of talk about
Vigilante dying.
No, God damn it. I swear to God. Luckily, this episode doesn't come out. I think I'll drop it Friday or Saturday. No, actually, it won't come out until next Wednesday for regular. It'll be on Patreon Friday.
We'll have enough
so
time
I swear to God, if Vigilante died and you called it, I'm going to be so pissed.
Only because I like that character so much.
All right, well, here's
James
the thing.
Gunn's
Here's the
gonna
thing.
take it from
For the
me.
record, we haven't, of course, watched the season finale.
Yeah, we don't
Drew
know
is just
nothing.
giving a fucking guess. This is his prediction, a terrible prediction at that, because Vigilante does not deserve to die.
He does not
He has been
deserve
my
to die.
favorite character in this whole show.
Hey, listen. I love it too. I'm right there with you.
So why the fuck are you guys bringing this? Why are you speaking this
I
into
don't
existence?
want to. Like, listen, I don't want to bring it, but like, if anybody's watched Game of Thrones and know about the Red Wedding, no one's safe. And James Gunn, dude, the last 2 episodes have been crazy in the sense of like the characters that he's taken out. Like, he introduced a character, and you're like, oh, this is a cool dynamic, and then takes out this character.
Yeah, he's been kind of
he set up a bunch of cool storylines, but then immediately gives you resolve because he kills a character. You're like, oh damn, that's not getting solved.
Yeah.
Then he kills another character. You're like, what is going on?
You know what? The actor's name is Freddie Stroma, and I should probably just go to his Twitter.
He's British.
You think? What are the odds? What are the odds?
He's British.
You already
I
checked?
looked him up.
Yo, it really is the British invasion for TV.
Hey, don't steal my joke. I've got mad for less.
Fair enough. I won't step in that territory. That joke is a property of Andy Torres. I'm simply sampling it. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I am looking forward to the season finale. And I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but James Gunn has already announced that they are renewed for a season 2.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man, I was so worried. worried.
I wasn't.
Oh.
The only thing I was concerned about was like maybe this isn't meant to be a multi-season thing, and I was like, oh, well,
but
maybe
it could work.
No, I think shit. James Gunn and his team. Let's not forget that.
James Gunn is basically Jon Favreau, Boba Fetting it, or Mandalorian it. Straight up, like Peacemaker is like its own version of Mandalorian. Eagly versus Grogu.
Ooh, fucking Eagly would fuck Grogu up.
Oh, he definitely would.
No, time out. Wait. I'm sorry. Damn, I might have pissed off some people.
Here's the thing. Before Grogu gets a chance to fight back, Eagly would already be on that.
Now, you know what? I feel like Eagly would see Grogu the same way we would, and would almost like protect it. Because Grogu's so fucking cute. Let's be real.
Cute.
Grogu is so cute. Other animals would be like, damn, that's a cute ass fucking animal or fucking alien.
Vigilante would like roast him.
Oh, Vigilante would fucking flame our boy Grogu with some jokes. Literally, too. He's kind of like sick
He'd be
in the
like,
head.
what the fuck is that, man?
But I am... so...
What do you like about the show?
What do I like about the show?
Yeah.
Dude, it's been the character arcs.
Right?
Like, straight up. Like, everyone has had some solid... Like, every character, every person in the cast has had
a great
some
scene.
good character arcs, right?
Mhm.
And a really awesome scene. Like, the dynamics. I like the... James Gunn's really good at writing, just characters, right? But also character interactions. Like,
and Rocket Raccoon showed up.
I
was like, oh,
yeah,
wink, wink.
I like when you're talking about last week's episode where Peacemaker ties his helmet to a raccoon's tail. I love when Economist is like something to the effect is like, yep, just what I expected from a grown man grabbing a raccoon. That interaction is exactly what I thought would happen. Because John Cena's face is all fucked up and scratched.
Yo, it's scratched to shit. That's why it's so funny. Because at one point, he is looking good and chiseled. And then the next scene, the way that they do that the reveal is great. Like, that was amazing.
There's the timing. Now, granted, my thing is sometimes I feel like they stay on jokes a little too long.
Yeah, they do.
And they beat, like, they get every drop of a certain
But that's
joke.
John Cena, because some of them hit really, really good.
Yeah. But some of them I'm like, Jesus Christ, all right, this joke is, you beat a dead horse to this, right? Let's move on to the next joke. But besides that, yeah, it's fantastic. So what I want to know from you is, how would you sell this show, based on what you like about it, how would you sell this show to someone?
I would ask him, have you seen The Boys? And then sometimes people are like, yeah, I seen The Boys. I said, this is better than The Boys.
Yeah. And it's kind of the same vibe, right? Like fourth wall breaking, like a self-aware commentary on like kind of realistic commentary or take on like superheroes.
Uh-huh. Definitely.
And they're kind of like assholes, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like nobody's likable, but they're all lovable.
Yeah, you end up learning to love them for their very unique ways.
And then, like I was saying, like Vigilante, like he's just such a great, like he is so crazy. He's crazy enough to where like all the dumb stuff that he does, I'm just like, I wonder if this is James Gunn or this is the other kid that's improving this stuff.
Oh, Freddie Stroma?
Yeah, because he like some of the lines that he delivers are just really good.
Well, if I was to judge by the end credit scenes, you know, they'll show like the bloopers and some of the things they don't add to the put in the actual episode. A lot of that feels like just ad-libbing or improving.
John
so
Cena
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, so if I had to compare that, John Cena is Dwight from The Office, and Vigilante is Jim.
Wow.
That's how I was like, you like The Office? I'm like, yeah. Do you want to see Violent Jim and Dwight? Here you go.
It's Jim and Dwight, and then inject them with like 90s extreme comic books.
Exactly. And that's who
Damn,
it is.
That's a good one. I like it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season finale. Maybe if we got time, we'll link up and talk about it. But season 2 is coming out or been announced, and get on it if you haven't watched it. All right, Drew, I know that we've got to get going. Do you have any parting words? Anything you want to share with the listeners before we wrap up and I close this out?
Thank you so much for being a listener. Thank you for being a friend. No, just keep reading, keep hanging out. Thank you so much. I hope to see you at the 400 episode.
That'll be the next time Drew comes on. Episode 400.1.
Ooh.
All right, well, with that being said, there you have it, Shortbox Nation. Thank you for hanging out with us this week. And like I said last week, we couldn't do this without your support. Thanks for being the best damn audience a show like ours could ask for. But it's time to close out the show. The full crew will be back next week to celebrate the new Batman movie with a dedicated spotlight on the 1997 Batman comic, Batman the Long Halloween. If you've never read it, I promise you it's considered a classic and absolutely worth hunting down. It's probably pretty easy to find them. I know it's, you can get it digital or even in shops now. But if you're familiar with it, read it again and tune in next Wednesday to be a part of the conversation. And speaking of Batman, we'll be announcing a giveaway for tickets to a private watch party that we're throwing for the new Batman movie. If you live here in Jax, you'll want to stay tuned to our social media pages, Instagram and Twitter for those details, especially by the time this episode drops. We'll probably announce it by then. And some good news, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll have access to another bonus episode by the time this one drops. We'll be talking about the X-Men animated series for another installment of our bonus podcast series dedicated to the best comic book cartoons and animated shows, Pilot's License. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, what the hell are you doing, man? Come on, get up on this.
Dang.
But if you want access to even more bonus content like our spin-off show that I just mentioned, video versions of this podcast, and other rewards, consider joining the ranks of the Shortbox Elite and sign up for our Patreon. You'll be helping us maintain and grow the show while also being rewarded pretty handsomely, if I do say so myself. Go to patreon.com/theshortbox or click the link in the show notes to make it easy on yourself. In the meantime, give us a follow on social media if you aren't a part of the bandwagon already. But most importantly, take care of yourselves. Have a great day, and please continue to make mine and yours Shortbox. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.